Until yesterday, we thought this vast world we live in, the one we know so well, was everything, our three-dimensional world. But did you know this is just a tiny fraction of reality? There are worlds with higher dimensions, hidden realms we can't see with our eyes. Places where time can flow backward and forward, where space can bend, where every second branches into 1,000 possibilities, creating other versions of you. A place where your life is but a single drop in an infinite ocean, and where a multidimensional being might be flipping through your life like a book right now. Are you ready to step through that door? Scientists have explored this, theorized about it. This isn't a fantasy. This isn't a myth. This is your journey to the heart of the universe's deepest mystery. A journey to higher dimensions. We live in a world with 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. Everything you describe can be defined by these 3 qualities. But what if I told you the world isn't just these 3 dimensions? Brilliant physicists, from Albert Einstein to Brian Greene and Edward Witten, have proposed theories suggesting there could be more dimensions, ones we can't see or even imagine. Today, we're embarking on a thrilling, mind-bending scientific journey. We'll start from the simplest dimension, a straight line, and climb step by step to higher realms until we reach a concept some call the universal observer. First dimension, the linear world. Let's start with the simplest form of space, the first dimension. It's just a straight line. No up, no down, no left, no right, just one direction. You move forward or backward. Imagine a creature living in this world, a tiny point sliding along this line. Let's call it a linear being. It has no concept of turning or jumping. Those don't exist in its one-dimensional world. Now picture you, a 3-dimensional being interacting with this linear creature. Say you place your finger on its line. To the linear being, your finger is just a strange point that appears out of nowhere and then vanishes. It can't grasp that this point is part of your finger because up or hand means nothing to it. Here's a key principle in physics. A being in a higher dimension can fully see the world below, but a lower dimensional being can only perceive a tiny sliver of the higher one. So, what if we're in our 3-dimensional world and a 4-dimensional being wants to interact with us? What would we see? Maybe just a strange shadow, a weird feeling, something we can't explain. Could there be beings in higher dimensions watching us? Second dimension, the flat world. Let's step up to the second dimension. It's no longer just a line, it's a flat plane, like an infinitely large sheet of paper. In this world, creatures have length and width. They could be squares, circles, or triangles, but no height. This is sometimes called the flat world, where everything exists on a 2-dimensional surface. Imagine a 2-dimensional creature, say a circle with 2 eyes, living on this plane. It can move left, right, forward, or backward, but up or down is meaningless to it. If you, a 3-dimensional being, hover your hand above this plane, the creature only sees a small part of your finger, maybe a short line or a point that suddenly appears in its world. It can't picture your entire hand because its world is limited to 2 dimensions. Imagine drawing a circle around this creature, like a prison. It can't escape, because escaping would mean jumping up over the wall, and up doesn't exist in its world. But you, in the third dimension, could easily lift it out of the circle and place it outside. To the creature, this would feel like a miracle, as if an invisible force freed it without breaking the wall. This shows that higher dimensional beings can do things that seem impossible or magical to those in lower dimensions. Third dimension, our world. Now, we arrive at our world, the third dimension. Here, we have length, width, and height. We can move forward, backward, left, right, up, and down. If there's a box on a table, we can walk around it, touch it, even look inside if we open it. This three-dimensional world feels so familiar because it's where we live. But let's look at ourselves from the perspective of a two-dimensional being. To them, our world is unimaginable. If we interact with them, they only see a tiny slice of us, maybe part of a finger that enters their plane. Now apply this to ourselves. We think we see an object fully, but we're only seeing its outer surface. We can't see inside a wall without tools or the front and back of an object at the same time. What if a four-dimensional being is looking at us from above? They could see us completely, not just our appearance, but inside our bodies. To them, our three-dimensional world is like a painting on a flat canvas. They could pass through our walls as easily as we step over lines on a page. Here's a deep question. Are we trapped in an invisible three-dimensional cage? Could there be things around us we can't see because our senses are only designed for length, width, and height? Let's take another step and explore the fourth dimension. Fourth dimension, time as a dimension. So far, we've had three dimensions: length, width, and height. But everything in our world exists not just in space, but also in time. The same box we placed on the table at 8 a.m. in the third dimension might be picked up by someone at 5 p.m. This means the box exists not just in space, but in time as well. So we can say that time is also a dimension. We usually see time as a straight line. It starts in the past, moves to the present, and flows into the future. But Einstein's theory of relativity tells us time isn't that simple. Time is flexible. Near a black hole, for instance, time slows down. Spend 5 minutes there, and 50 years might pass on Earth. This is because of the bending of space-time, as Einstein explained in general relativity. Now, imagine a four-dimensional being for whom time is like a spatial dimension they can navigate. Just as we move left, right, up, or down, they could move forward and backward in time. They could see your birth, then jump to this moment as you watch this video, then leap to your future, all at once. Here's a simpler analogy. Picture your life as a movie on a film reel. We can only watch it frame by frame, from start to end. But a four-dimensional being could see the entire reel from above. Every frame, from your birth to the end of your life, all at once. To them, past, present, and future aren't just points on a line. They're an open map. This leads to deeper theories. Some say feelings like déjà vu or strange dreams might be moments when our minds briefly connect with the fourth dimension. In science fiction, like the movie Interstellar, this is beautifully shown, where time bends and characters send messages from the future to the past. So, if time is just one dimension, what's the next one? Fifth dimension, the world of possibilities and multiverses. Now we enter a stranger realm, the fifth dimension. So far, the fourth dimension introduced time as a navigable dimension. But in the fifth dimension, it's not just time, it's all possible outcomes. That's the fifth dimension, a space where every possible choice, every path of your life, every world exists. This comes from the multiverse theory in physics, which suggests every decision or event can create new branches of reality. In one world, you're a scientist. In another, an artist. In yet another, you might not exist at all. Think of your life as a tree. Every decision creates a new branch. The fourth dimension sees just one path of that tree, but the fifth dimension reveals the entire tree with all its branches. A fifth dimensional being could see every version of you, from the one who succeeded to the one who failed. Let's take another step. Sixth dimension. Worlds with different laws. The fifth dimension encompassed all possibilities within one set of physical laws, like gravity, light, and the behavior of atoms in our world. But in the sixth dimension, even those laws aren't fixed. Imagine a world where gravity doesn't exist, or where light moves slower than a bicycle, or a world where time flows backward. The sixth dimension is like an infinite hallway, with each door opening to a world with its own physical laws. In one, matter might exist as waves, not solid objects. In another, the concept of mass might not even exist. A sixth dimensional being could stroll between these worlds as easily as we walk from room to room. To them, our world is just one of countless possibilities. This idea comes from string theory, which suggests our physical laws arise from the vibrations of tiny cosmic strings. In the sixth dimension, these strings can vibrate differently, creating worlds with entirely new rules. Seventh dimension, rewriting the origin of existence. In the sixth dimension, physical laws changed. But in the seventh dimension, the very starting point of the universe shifts. Imagine worlds that didn't begin with a big bang like ours, or worlds where time and space never even formed. In this dimension, the foundations of existence, like matter, energy, or cause and effect, can be entirely different. For example, in our world, if you drop a stone, it falls to the ground because gravity exists. But in one of the seventh dimensional worlds, the stone might fall and rise at the same time, or even split into 1,000 temporal fragments that fall at different moments in time. Or perhaps the very concept of a stone doesn't exist at all, and everything manifests as waves of information or unstable frequency patterns, interpretable only by consciousness, not by the five senses. These worlds are like different languages of reality, each with its own alphabet and grammar. Our universe is merely one of those languages. A seventh dimensional being could read and understand all these languages simultaneously, because for them, all possibilities are not only real, but also observable. A seventh dimensional being could see all these possibilities at once. To them, our world is just one of infinite possible sketches. This comes from advanced cosmology and string theory, suggesting our reality is just a tiny slice of a much larger truth. Eighth and ninth dimensions, the fundamental structures of the cosmos. Now we reach the 8th and 9th dimensions, where string theory gets even deeper. Here, time and space no longer behave as they do in our world. According to string theory, these dimensions involve complex structures called Calabi-Yau manifolds, tiny, twisted spaces that exist at microscopic scales. These act like the universe's programming code, determining the properties of fundamental particles, like electrons and quarks, and forces like gravity or electromagnetism. In the 8th dimension, time and space can behave in non-linear, intricate ways. Time might loop or branch like a story with multiple endings. In the 9th dimension, these structures get even more complex, shaping the very laws of our universe, like the mass of particles or the strength of forces. These dimensions explain why our world is so precisely tuned to allow life. 10th and 11th dimensions, the pinnacle of reality in string theory. The 10th and 11th dimensions are the peak of string theory and M theory. In the 10th dimension, everything, matter, energy, time, and space, is connected in a vast network of cosmic strings. These strings vibrate like the strings of a cosmic guitar, and each vibration creates a fundamental particle like a photon or quark, or a natural force like gravity. This dimension contains not just our world, but all possible parallel worlds. In M theory, proposed by Edward Witten, there might even be an 11th dimension, a cosmic glue that ties all versions of string theory together. Here, time and space aren't fixed. They can stretch, bend, or merge with other dimensions. This opens up possibilities like wormholes or even time travel, at least in theory. The 11th dimension is like an infinite canvas, where all possibilities, all laws, all worlds coexist. A being in this dimension could read the entire universe like an open book, not just our world, but every possible reality. Now this question arises. How can we, existing in lower dimensions, even begin to comprehend higher dimensions? The truth is, we can't say with certainty that these dimensions exist or what they truly look like. However, scientists have tried to understand them through theories such as string theory, general relativity, quantum mechanics, and the multiverse theory. In this video, we've explored some of these ideas, theories that talk about 10 or 11 dimensions, vibrating strings, the curvature of space-time, and the possible existence of parallel universes. We've journeyed from the 1st to the 11th dimension, seeing how our world is just a tiny piece of a vast reality. But one profound question remains. Is there something beyond these dimensions? Could there be a being or force that encompasses not just one dimension or one world, but all dimensions and realities? In quantum physics, there's a strange phenomenon that gives us a clue: the double-slit experiment. When a particle like a photon passes through two slits, it behaves like a wave, creating an interference pattern. But when it's observed, that wave collapses and the particle acts like a normal object. This means reality at the quantum level depends on an observer. The observer doesn't have to be human. Anything that extracts information from the system counts. But physicists like John Wheeler have suggested there might be a universal observer, a cosmic consciousness that shapes all reality. Our universe could be like a computer program running on interactions of information. In cosmology, The anthropic principle notes that our universe's laws are unbelievably fine-tuned to allow life and consciousness. If gravity were just a tiny bit stronger or weaker, stars and planets couldn't form. This precision has led scientists like Stephen Hawking and Roger Penrose to ask, is this fine-tuning because of an intelligent observer that designed the universe for consciousness? This universal observer, some might call it God, exists beyond all dimensions, time and space. This isn't just a religious idea, it's a scientific one. In modern theories, consciousness might be a fundamental variable, like energy or matter. A universal observer could perceive the entire cosmos, all dimensions, all parallel worlds, as a single whole. It doesn't just observe reality, it might shape it, like in the double-slit experiment, but on an infinitely grand scale. The entire truth of our world and all worlds might contain hidden layers we haven't yet discovered. And beyond all this, there could be a universal observer, a cosmic consciousness that encompasses and shapes all reality. They're rooted in cutting-edge physics theories, and they make us wonder, are we living in a cosmic simulation? Is this just one of countless worlds? Will we one day explore these dimensions, or even travel through them? Perhaps the grandeur of the universe lies in this. We're standing on the thin surface of reality, beneath our feet, above our heads, woven through our moments. Countless worlds are breathing. Maybe one day we'll learn to break through these walls. But until then, these silent dimensions pass by us.